Majesties, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for always returning. Trust you and yours are well, and you're loving yourself and others like always. Alright, I want us to do this quick one. Zambia is now hosting the US military. Oh my goodness. Now, we've been talking about militaries in the continent of Africa, and most of you gave the numbers because some people, the media might just tell you, oh, they're about maybe some amount of military bases, but there are a lot of foreign military bases in the continent of Africa, in each country. Why should America have the number of military bases they have in the continent? Why should the British government have the number of military bases they have in the continent? Why should the French government have the numbers of military bases they have in the continent? And I asked a question while I was dealing with the other topic. Is there any African military base in any continent around the world? We have 55 countries in the continent. And out of these 55 countries, do we have any military bases of any of these countries? In any part of America, in any part of France, in any part of England? Do we? The answer is no. The answer is no. Even if you have one, okay, some group of people, it's not the base, Your Majesties. Let's be frank. But we are seated here in our motherland, and some group of people are in our continent, armed, prepared. Is this not do you not feel uneasy with this? You don't feel uneasy with you think it's a good thing. You think they are there to protect you all. I don't get it. I don't get it. We are always talking about resources being stolen, and then maybe they were caught while they were stealing these things. The gold of Congo, the US peacekeepers, the UN peacekeepers were stealing the gold and they were caught. A huge amount of gold in the truck of the UN peacekeepers. Now the Arabs were caught smuggling this quite a good number of gold processed, smuggling it out of the continent through Ethiopia. How did they do this? How do they get access to the places where these gold are kept? How were they able to get intel to do most of these things? Because their military bases are in the continent, so they get information. Because of course they are not limited. They are not even monitored. Their communications is not even monitored. The military in any part of the world, their communication is not monitored. You can communicate anytime, anywhere, and nobody's going to say anything. This is how they pass information. This is how they steal our resources. But no, we don't want to look into this. We don't want to look into this. A lot of well-meaning Africans, not quite a lot, because when you talk about this whole Pan-Africanism, there are some people who do not want to just associate themselves with. So some Pan-Africanists have said this. Those who hold Africa at heart have advised our leaders to reduce or kick out these bases from the continent. And our leaders are not seeing anything wrong with having these people around. These guys passes the borders and they are not checked. These guys move around with goods and services and they are not checked. These military people we're talking about. These forces. Now, when you talk about drugs entering the continent, how do these drugs pass in? They pass in because of people who move around in and out who are not checked. So they can easily carry anything they want to carry because they are not checked. And because you are a US military, you just come and go in the continent because you're a US military. Like I say, your face alone is a pass. So you come and go. Nobody check you. This is how they smuggle things up and down. This is how they steal things up and down. If not because that truck fell in Congo, no one would have known that it was gold that was in that truck. It was because the truck fell and the truck got opened. So people, the locals, saw gold falling off the truck, and that was how the information went out. They have been doing this for a very long time. Nobody caught them. So I don't know why we should still be accommodating or creating or hosting a United States of America base in the continent. When there is any little thing right now, do you think these people are protecting you or they are destroying you?
Yes, so I was saying that, so we've got the Americans, they've got the base now that is established as AFRICOM in Zambia. They've got military equipment deployed there, ready to be deployed anywhere in this region. We've already got a standby base that is in Tswelopelo, I forget the name, in Botswana. And then we now got the Europeans having signed the new agreement with Faki. And I bring up the issue of Faki because he has been an instrument of the West, particularly the French, within the African Union. And he's the one who signed the European Peace Initiative that allows the European countries to choose and cherry pick countries that they're going to give military equipment and that they're going to put military training advisors. And this can be used to make African countries fight each other. Then we've got South Africa. They're going into elections next year. The DA is looking to have a coalition that takes away power from the ANC and puts back power into the racist hands of the former apartheid system. And the DA has been very clear. It comes into power, it's going to sanction Zimbabwe. It comes into power, it's going to start aligning with the West. And now the question is, do we go back? If the DA comes in, are we going to have an African Continental Free Trade Area, or are we going to go back to post-apartheid era where South Africa is used as a destabilizing force of this region to remove revolutionary governments and to remove particularly black governments that are strong in bringing empowerment to the region? So that's another threat that is happening in South Africa. We need the ANC to remain in power if we are going to have peace in this region, and if we don't want the Americans to have a foothold to try and destabilize this region with Zambia and now South Africa and Botswana. At least with Botswana, Masisi is not happy with the American situation. That's why they've moved to Zambia, where they've got their puppet that they brought in.
Your Majesties, the other video where I was talking about these same military bases, you heard the conditions that was given for any military base to be present in any country in the continent of Africa. The governments of that country do not have a say on these military bases or their personnel. The government of the country do not have a say. That is to say, their presence there is beyond the government of the country that these bases are situated. So there is like a separate office on their own, and they have sovereignty over the government. So they can move however they want to move. The government of that country do not have a say. They can do anything they want to do. It doesn't concern the government of the country. They receive order from somewhere else, and they are in our country. Goodness me. And they move, they are not searched. They move, they are not searched. And they have any right, when they are giving order by those who they receive order from, who is not even in that region, who is not even in the continent of Africa, when they are giving order to go and invade a neighboring country, they will go and do that, irrespective of what the government of that country have said. Because they don't take orders from the government of the country where they are situated. You see what we are putting ourselves into as a people. Going after policies, accepting policies, we don't think, we don't reason. Our leaders are just there. They go to sign these things, these treaties, they don't look at the implications. Oh yes, we want to come to your country. We want to situate our military base there. And they tell you, oh, this is a benefit. What are the cons? Our leaders don't think about these things. They don't. So those military bases in that region are like a sovereign power in that region, because the government themselves adhere to the commands of those military bases. Oh, Majesties, oh, we have a long way to go as Africans. We have a long way to go. And there's some abominable practices. You see, I'm calling it abominable because there's a way you treat the leaders that you shouldn't. There are some disgraceful practices, there are things they do to our leaders that... Ooh. Anyway, I felt like sharing this with you, and I get your opinion. Leave them there at the section, and I'll see you in my next one. Until then, love yourself, love others, stay safe, stay positive, always your majesties. Bye for now.